Hi, I'm Kristen Cannon and I work in the greenhouse here at the Parkview Community Greenhouse and Learning Kitchen. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to harvest some common herbs. All you need to harvest is your plant, some clean scissors or shears, a dry bowl, and clean hands. So aside from using your herbs in the kitchen, one benefit to pruning and harvesting is to promote proper plant growth. And what I mean by that is full, bushy growth outward. Pruning also prevents your herb from going to flower, which takes energy away from the leaves that we eat. So let's get started. Here I've got oregano. I've also got marjoram, thyme, and mint. So all of these herbs grow the same way, and so they're harvested the same way. So the most important thing to know when you're harvesting is where the growth point is. You can see that there are small baby leaves emerging from each leaf node. So that's your growth point. What you want to do is ensure that you are cutting above enough growth points so that your plant will continue to grow. So here, when you're ready to harvest, bunch up your plant in one hand and cut with the other. So I'm cutting about halfway down my oregano, like that. And you will harvest all of these herbs the same way. So next we've got cilantro. It's the same point with the growth points. So here with cilantro, you can see that we've got some baby leaves growing at the bottom and the base of the plant, and also all the way up the stem. So as long as you leave enough baby leaves at the bottom, your plant will continue to grow post-harvest. So it's the same concept where I'm gonna bunch it up like this and just cut above those baby leaves. So cilantro is known to go to flower or bolt quicker than other plants. So cutting it more often would be a solution to that issue. We've also got parsley that grows similarly to cilantro. It's actually a little bit easier to prune because most of the baby leaves and the growth points are at the base of the plant. So up here are the older, bigger leaves that we're gonna harvest today, just leaving those baby leaves intact at the bottom. And then you can prune off these stems as well. So next, we've got basil and sage. These are plants that can grow a little bit taller than other herbs. Basil is one of my favorite plants to harvest and prune because you can really see how the pruning affects plant growth. So if you're looking for the growth point on basil, you can see that there's baby leaves down here at the growth points, and that goes all the way up the stem. So this is a good example of where we cut here, and 2 leaf stems have popped up from that cutting. So when you're cutting your basil, you can cut above a node and above a leaf, and you can go a little higher up like I just did, or a little bit lower if you want to keep your plant lower. It really depends on how tall you want your plant to be. So I'm going to cut each of these individually, and this will just encourage that bushy growth outwards. Now sage grows in a similar way, where you have some new growth at the base and also some up at the top. So when you're cutting sage, you can cut at the top, and that will promote growth at the base of the plant. Or you can just harvest your bigger leaves around your plant if you want it to get a little bit taller. So when I was harvesting these herbs, I cut most of them about halfway down the plant, which is the maximum you would want to cut your plant. So the reason I did that is because the first harvest of the season, you want to cut it down a little bit lower to promote that soft tissue growth so you have soft leaves and so your plant does not get woody. However, if you just need a little bit of your herb for a dish in the kitchen, just use the methods that we talked about today to harvest your herb. So there you have it. Harvesting herbs is as simple as knowing where that growth point is and cutting above that growth point. Remember, harvesting your herbs isn't just about eating the leaves, but it's also about promoting that proper plant growth, that full bushy growth outward. Thanks for joining me today, and happy harvesting.